there, everyone. So I got a quick message from this Queen of Cups that came up in a reading that I was doing for somebody the other day, and she's this calling to connect to this more mature relationship that we have with our emotions and our feelings and our desires. And it's a mature relationship because this queen has lived a life that has been primarily emotional, and she knows the reactions of the world that the world is going to have to her emotional state. She understands that there's a certain amount of the depth of feelings and the depths of emotional expression which the world isn't ready to accept, and which doesn't always embrace equally. And so she's got the cup which is closed. This is a closed cup because there's a certain amount of emotional energy which she contains inside of us. And one of her greatest messages for us is, hey, know when to contain your energy, when to hold on to your feelings. Our feelings and emotions just flow in and out, and they can be so crazily rash, and they can be shockingly abrasive towards the world, and they can change what we choose to do and definitely how we choose to do it. They'll change the way we express ourselves to other people, and not really having the understanding or the knowledge or the wisdom of how to contain those feelings will mean that we'll end up expressing them in a more masculine way, in ways that can be quite maybe abrasive to the world, or that's going to not always have the most beautiful reactions from the world around us. And so this queen asks us to contain but not repress all of our feelings, and that's kind of the biggest message, is to be aware of how you feel, but allow yourself to sit with those feelings. Not everybody needs to see them, not everybody needs to hear them, but you definitely do. And it's going to be rich for you to stay that connected to your feelings, because that way you'll know exactly what it is that is most important for you to work towards or to act upon. And you'll understand the desires that come from those feelings, because the desires and emotions are very much interconnected. They can be superficially unimportant in the bigger picture, but sometimes we need to even act out those type of desires. But with maturity, we kind of get to discern which of the feelings are the ones that need to be followed through, and which ones are those that are going to benefit us from acting out or communicating to the world, and which ones aren't. And it's the queen which knows the difference. She knows how to contain herself. And when we find ourselves sometimes maybe a little bit unsure about how much of what and how we feel should we share with the world, or how little, when we should say yes and no to this story, how much of our desires are important to actually allow the world to see, and how much of our desires do we hold on inside and keep them to ourselves. This is going to be something that might take a little bit of time, and so just simply being willing to sit with our feelings, sit with our desires a little bit longer, look at them, allow the waters to settle. When we get a rush of emotion that might relate to something that's really exciting, or something that's really beautiful, or something that's really uplifting, or the opposite, something that's really scary and something that's really that puts us in a more sad and afraid state of mind, then sit with them and allow the emotional waters to settle. Both of those waters are agitated, whether it's excited in a positive way or excited in a negative way. Both are agitated, and the Queen's message is, hey, there's a maturity inside of us all where we can just sit with that agitation, that inner agitation, a moment, without needing to express it, without needing to throw it out there in the world, without needing to act out on those feelings and those desires, and hold on to it. See how that energy settles. And when you allow that energy to settle, there's naturally a degree of clarity which will settle as well, which will come into our lives, where we'll actually see what is more important to feel, and we'll actually have greater discernment about what we need to do in our lives and what desires are more important to follow than others. If we're agitated and agitated and agitated, then sometimes the waters never settle and we never actually figure out what it is that's most important. In the calmness and the quiet waters, we'll get inspiration through intuitive feeling. And this queen is the queen of intuitive emotions that can come through only when we allow that agitation to calm down a little bit. Have a fantastic day.